Oh.
You see that?
Yes.
But you pinch the quarter, and at the same time, you have the other quarter below the table. And you drag the quarter that's under the table on the surface of the bottom so you can hear it.
Ah.
And then you create the illusion that you put it through, and you bang the quarter on the bottom of the table. Listen. So it really does look like the quarter
And sound like
went
it
right through
the table.
and it even appears to be that way when you show them the quarter from below the table. Now, if you had 2 quarters with the same year, you can then ask them, hey, I want you to verify that that is indeed the same date, the same quarter that we started the trick off.
That's a great addition.
Nice touch, right?
Yes.
That is the quarter through the table.
What's next is...
Well, when we start rolling,
Okay,
we are rolling. We are rolling. But I do want to ask you, just get my pulse. You know, to get a pulse, there you go. Tell me when you have it.
Yes.
And you will. The search for
Reach
it.
a little higher up on the hand, a little further up. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Now watch. What if I told you you got it? What if I told you I can actually slow my pulse down and stop it? Just tell me when you feel my pulse becoming a lot weaker. A lot weaker. Until it completely stops.
That's tripping me out.
Has it stopped?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Now watch. I'll bring it back. You tell me when to bring it back.
Okay, bring it back. That's weird.
It's back.
That's weird.
In order to do this, you need to have a ball, believe it or not. Happen to have one right there?
The size of about a golf ball is perfect.
Yeah, and for the sake of this illustration, I won't put a jacket on because I want everybody to see how this works. So, what you do is you take the ball, place it underneath your armpit, you apply no pressure, just be as normal and relaxed as possible. In any event, you keep it there, and as you have somebody take your pulse, and you let them take your pulse, find the actual pulse.
I got it.
You have it?
Yes.
When you want to slow down your pulse or stop it, you just simply squeeze your arm to...
Stop.
I'm squeezing it right now. My armpit is getting... I'm just completely tightening it all
In other
up.
words, he's actually pressing the ball against the artery and
Yes.
stopping the flow of blood coming down his arm.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and of course it stops your pulse
My
rate.
pulse has stopped, correct?
Yes.
And now as I alleviate or release some of that pressure, you'll feel my pulse begin.
It's starting to come back right now.
And now I'm coming back to life. Now, one thing we should point out, do not do this for long periods of time. And you probably should even ask a doctor before trying this, because this does have the risk, if you do it for a long period of time, of giving you a blood clot.
That's right, but if you just do it during a performance period, it's fine.
Right. A lot of people always ask me when I'm eating dinner, you know, Chris, can you do something? Can you do something? And everybody knows I can make this quarter disappear really, really easily. So I try to make it more challenging. I really get off in challenges. So what I do is I take the salt shaker or a pepper shaker. Right now we're using a salt shaker. I place it on top. Place a napkin on top of that. Another napkin on top of that. So now we have the quarter on the table, salt shaker on top of the quarter, and 2 napkins on top of that. So if I was to try to make that quarter disappear, you'd probably see me do it because I'd have to move everything out of the way. It makes it very complicated for me. Yet, being the master of magic that I am, is that my expert title? Oh, he's the master magician.
So you're the master of magic, yes.
Oh, I am? Okay. I'm going to attempt to do that right now for this very special group in front of me. First thing we need to do, we need to establish the magic. And that's with touch. I want you to take your right hand. You are righty, am I correct?
I am.
Of course you are.
Of course I am.
Tap it 3 times for me. If I told you that quarter vanished, would you be pretty amazed?
Yeah.
Watch. Now, gone.
Well, almost.
Almost.
Only a little blemish.
Should I tap hard?
Yeah, tap the top of it right now. Push down on the top. Push down, push down. Wait a second. Wait. The salt shaker went right through the table. Look at that. Look.
Oh, God.
That's amazing.
Wow! That was really good. Look at that. How did you do that? I don't know. What's the name of this one?
Salt shaker through the table.
Okay. Johnny, this is a classic.
This is one of the first tricks I learned as a boy.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're going to need a salt shaker, a quarter, and a napkin or two. What you want to do is you want to place the quarter on the table. You're going to take the salt shaker, place it onto the quarter. You cover it up with everything, the napkins.
And best to use 2 napkins so it will hold shape better.
Absolutely. You ask somebody to tap on it. Good. You want to bring their attention to the quarter. Look, the quarter vanished. You bring the salt shaker over the edge of the table, but you're always looking at the quarter. Oh my God, it didn't work. As you're doing that, you bring your hand over the edge of the table. You actually drop the salt shaker into your lap. You come back to the quarter, holding the form of the salt shaker in the napkin, but the salt shaker's not there. But you have to believe in your mind that it is there, so that when you say, watch, I'm going to take the salt shaker then and push it right through the table. As you push your hand down on the paper form of the salt shaker, you actually take the salt shaker from your lap in your other hand and slam it against the bottom of the table, creating the illusion that it went through, like this. Show it that it's not there, and you say, look, it came right
Through the tabletop.
through the tabletop. So a lot of people ask me, with the show, when I do things, when I have a premonition or I do a prediction or I get inside people's minds, how does that work? And right now I'm going to show you a basic illustration of something you can actually master.
Going to read our minds.
I'm going to try. I made an actual prediction, believe it or not. The reason why I know that is because it says so right over here. Prediction. This is my prediction. I'm going to leave that in full view. And I'm going to try a little something. What's your name? Dora. Nice to meet you. I'm going to just take my hands and cover 2 items. I want you to disregard one of them. This one here? Okay, we'll place that over here. Would you be fine to touch any 2 items that you like? Okay, I'm going to disregard the, this is supposed to get quite nicely, get rid of that. Okay? I'm going to place my hand over here. Select any one of the 2 that I have underneath my hands.
The fork.
The fork. We'll disregard that. Put your hands over it. You know what? We'll get rid of the pepper. So, everything was fair, right?
Yeah.
Correct? We started off, had 5 items, 3 selections, right? Yet at the end, we ended up with 1 item being the salt shaker. I made a prediction. Would you be so kind?
Yep.
And open that up. And tell me what it says. Hopefully I didn't screw this one up.
No, I think you did a very good job. I was looking over your shoulder when you wrote the prediction.
And the winner is...
The salt shaker was amazing.
Yeah. There you go.
That's awesome.
Precognition, the ability to predict the future. This is a great effect, and one that we're going to explain right now.
Yeah, one you can do just about anywhere. I've done it many times over lunch and dinner. You just use objects on the table.
Not only that, but you don't have to have it sealed in an envelope like we did in our presentation. You can actually make the prediction right then and there. You have 5 objects. You think about which one you want that spectator end up with on the table. You just write it down and have somebody put their hand on it. So, but for the effect, we chose to have it sealed in an envelope, but it might make a bit more of an impact.
Yes.
So you take a prediction, place it in full view, keep it there at all times.
And in this instance, in this prediction, we are predicting that the fork will remain. In the example we did with our audience, we did it with the salt shaker. It doesn't matter where the objects are, and the important thing is, since there are odd objects, that the magicians start.
Right. If they were even objects, so for example, let's
yes.
just break it down. We have 5 objects, which is an odd number, so now the magician would start. You could do this with 7 objects. You could do this with 9 objects.
And you can do it with even objects.
Yeah.
But then if you're doing it with even objects, you have the spectator start first.
Right, and when we say start, what we mean is that they have to select the items first. But being that we have 5 items, which is an odd number, the magician, that would be me right now, would select 2 of the items. And the one that I always want to avoid is the object that is my prediction. So this being the fork, being that that's the prediction, I do not want to put my hand on the fork. So I would start off like this. I would say, okay, I'm going to select 2 items. I want you to disregard one of them.
Eliminate one.
Yeah.
The cup.
The cup. This cup here? On the right?
Yes.
Okay, good. That wouldn't be a cup, I guess.
Yes, that's a creamer.
Creamer.
And now the layman touches 2 objects. And if he touches the first object,
Which is the fork, the prediction object.
you're not going to eliminate that. The magician will eliminate the other object.
Right, so in this case, if you did this, I would say, I want to get rid of the salt.
Now it's the magician's turn.
Okay, once again, I'm going to avoid the fork because that's my prediction, so I'm going to go with the pepper and the creamer.
Let's get rid of the creamer.
You sure you don't want to change your mind?
No?
Even if he does, it doesn't matter.
Yes. And of course, he touches the last two objects,
And of course, I'm going to say, let's get rid of the pepper. What do we end up with?
the fork.
Wait a second, let's take a look at the prediction to see if it is indeed correct. And of course, it is. The fork will remain.
Precognition.
I knew that was going to happen. You remember when we did the, when we went to,
I remember a lot of
No,
places we
the
went
reason why I'm kind of, you know, because I got a little spooked out when we went to Death Valley.
to. Oh, you mean when we...
Celebrity seance.
We did the
You know,
celebrity
we dealt
seance,
with
yes.
a lot of really bizarre things.
Very
you know,
spooky.
Very spooky. Well, this is the beginning stages of one of those demonstrations.
So we're going to do some spooky stuff
I'm going to try
first.
something. I'm going
Okay.
to try something. Let's see. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to, just in your mind, think about somebody who's no longer with us. Could be a famous person, could be somebody that you know, a friend, or whatever you want. If you think of somebody that's no longer with us, I'm going to take this piece of paper, which is completely blank, and continue to rip it in thirds. Fair? Everything fair?
Yeah.
Notice we have a marker here. I want you to write down, and Johnny, I don't want you to look because I
I'm
don't
gonna
want to
look
think
the
it's
other way.
prearranged or anything.
It's okay,
But I want
I've
you to-
seen the trick before.
I want you to write down the person who's no longer with us.
The name of the
The name of the person when I turn my back. Then on the remaining pieces of paper, I want you to write people that you know that are still living, or that are famous, it doesn't matter, but that are living. So only one dead person amongst the living. When you've completed that, shuffle them up, and then place them into my hand.
And then, by the way, it could be just a first name.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a first and last. I'm sure everybody here knows who Elvis is.
Who?
No, she wasn't going to write Elvis. I was just giving that as an example, Johnny.
A lot of writing on
No,
It's all right. It's all right. This DVD is going to be really long, and we get paid by the hour, so it doesn't matter.
Hurry up.
We should have written a routine for the writer.
Yeah.
I was supposed to tell last ding dong.
Oh, you didn't give out the name, correct?
No.
Oh, okay. I was making sure. Have you done what I asked you to do? Completed it?
Working on it.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah, I am. I'm done.
You done? All right,
Mix them,
place them into my hands. You mix them up?
I did.
Okay, great. So, you took the marker,
I did.
and you wrote down one person who's no longer with us
I did.
amongst the living.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, great. I want you just to look at me, and I want you to think about that person. I
I'm
want you
gonna
to,
cry.
no, seriously, just think of that person. It's definitely not this person. Just think of that person. Think of that person. This person is still living as well. Correct?
Yeah.
Think of that person. See that person in your mind, as if you were looking at them in me. See that person very, very vividly. Very vividly, okay? This is definitely not that person as well. They're living.
Yes. Sitting next to me.
Sitting next to you is Anne. Look at that.
Best friend.
Best friend. Okay.
So it's quite possible Anne may know the same person.
I don't.
No, they
It's
don't?
really going to be a miracle.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Let's see. This person as well is living right there.
Yeah.
That's correct? Living? Are you really seriously focusing on that person? You have to. This will be a waste of time if you're not.
I can see.
You can see them. You can see them as if they were me, correct? As if they were me, right? Okay. And I would say it's definitely not this person either. Definitely not that person. Sorry, was that Megan? That's your baby girl. Okay? I'm just getting a sense. Just getting a sense of who that person really would be. Who that person really would be. I would say it's definitely not this person either. Sam? It's definitely not Sam, correct?
Correct.
Definitely not Sam. Getting down getting down. Let's see if I can actually do this. It'd be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? I'd be pretty amazed myself.
Can't be fooled, I'll tell you that much.
All right. I would say that it's definitely this person that I'm about to bring out forward is still living. Jake, am I correct? That's correct?
Yes.
Still living. And I would say that what is this? Colby is still living as well, right?
Yes. Couldn't remember who the other one I wrote was.
But the person that's no longer with us. Nani? Is it Nani? Who's Nani? Your grandmother.
Isn't Nani actually an expression for granny or grandma?
I don't know. Everybody just called her Nani.
Nani, I think so, yeah.
We drove past Forest Lawn today. I said,
Thank you very, very
that
much.
was awesome.
Thank you.
Very good.
So this is the beginner's version of psychic touch, a great effect, which was called...
It was originally called the living and dead test. And we've done this with copy paper, regular writing paper, but you really want to do this with something that has more substance. You want to use construction paper
That would
or
be
even
perfect.
cardboard.
Yeah. And we said that for the advanced version as well, because
Yeah.
it is really important. You won't be able to do this if you don't have the right material.
Now, once you have the correct material, you tear it into 9 squares. You tear it in thirds this way and in thirds that way. That give you 9 pieces. Now, you're going to notice that 8 of these pieces have a straight edge somewhere on them. The center piece, this is the piece you're going to have them write the name of the deceased person upon. It happens to be torn on all 4 sides. That's the secret of the trick. When these are gathered up to have them put names on, you want to make sure that the piece that's torn on all 4 sides is on top. Now you ask them to write the name of someone deceased on this. Then you have them write on all the other pieces the name of someone who's alive.
Now, I would have my back, being the magician, away from them when they do the whole process so that it's impossible for me to see any of this. That's very important. So you'd say, I want you to do this, start writing down the dead person, the living people, but I'm going to do it while my back is facing you.
And then you have them mix the pieces, and it doesn't matter how much they mix them. But once they're mixed, they're placed into Chris's hands, and now he's going to try and find the piece that's torn on all 4 sides. That will be the one who's deceased. The minute he finds the straight edge, he knows
Yeah.
it's a live person.
Right? I felt the straight edge, so I know that this person is still living. Mike, my prediction is still living, and they would say that that would be correct. Go to the next piece of paper, you feel around, and I felt the straight edge, so I would say that Frank is still living, and they would
Which
say
would
you
be
were correct.
correct.
I'd go to the next one. I would say I felt the torn edge right there. All right, I felt a straight edge. So I would say that John is still living. Then I'd go to the next one. Now I felt torn edge, and I know that, well, this feels like the actual dead person right
Which
here.
it is. This is the piece that's torn on all 4 sides. There is no straight edge at all.
Correct. So in this situation, I would take that piece and put it onto the bottom, in between my fingers, just like this, because we want to save that for the end.
Correct.
The big climax. So now I know I have that one clipped here, and all of the living people are here, so I have it separated. So now I can go really quick. I don't even have to feel the edges here. I can just go, I know that Bob is still living. I'm picking up the pace now, building the anticipation, getting ready for the crescendo. Lisa's still living. And you know what? I believe that Mary is still living as well. And George is still living as well. Joe is still living. But unfortunately, Elvis is not. And it would show that you come around, and Elvis is not.
And that's your denouement.
That is it. What you're about to see right now is the advanced version of psychic touch. The difference between this version and the beginner's version is what, Johnny?
The fact that you actually can name the person that's deceased before you reveal the slip of paper. It has much more of a mentalist feel to
It's
it.
as if you're reading their mind.
Correct.
So it's worth the practice.
Now, normally Chris would turn around and do this, but so you can see what's happening, he's going to remain facing away from the camera.
So now I'm going to feel the first piece that's on the top and see where there is
And
a
as you can
straight
see,
edge.
he just touched a straight edge,
Yes.
so he knows that's a
This
live
person is living right here. Lisa is living. Let's go to the next one. Gonna look for that straight edge. All right, I felt it. And I know that Mike is living as well. Moving on to the next one.
Again, he's found a straight edge.
Yeah, and that is torn right there. And we know that Frank is still living. Now,
Now you
this
notice-
one I feel that I have, well, there is no straight edge on this one, so this has to be the person that's no longer living. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to place that one in my hand secretly, and now I know the rest of the papers in my hand are all living people. So when I come forward now, I'm going to say this person is still living too, Mary. When I take Mary and I place her down on the table, I secretly get a look at my hand, and I just saw the word Elvis. So I'm going to remember that. It's going to look like this. And I believe this person is still living. Oh, Joe is still living. Okay, we're going to place Joe right over there and come back. Now I saw Elvis secretly. I'm going to keep that in my mind. Then I'm just going to take the remaining pages, go through them and say Bob is still living. Let's see. John is still
And
living.
of course, you can pick up the pace now.
George is still living. Mary's still living. But there's one person that is no longer with us. I want you to think of that person. I want you to see that person as if they were standing right in front of you, as I am. You're thinking of Elvis, am I correct? They're going to be amazed. Then you take that paper and show them that indeed it is Elvis who has left the building. What's your name?
My name is Abby.
Hi, Abby. You will not believe this, but I used to live on your road. I really did, seriously. But I'm going to ask you, are you a card player?
No.
You're not?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you in a moment to cut the cards. What you're going to do is just take some of the cards, cut them over, and then I'm going to ask you to mark the cut. And the way you do that is just by taking the other packet, the bottom half, and placing it crisscross so you're making a plus sign.
Sure.
So go ahead. Good. Very well.
Thank you.
And mark the deck, mark the cut.
I'm not gonna cut it.
Okay, that's marking the cut, not marking the deck. Because if you're marking the deck, then you need trick cards. We're not using trick cards here. We're marking the cut. Correct?
Whatever you say.
Exactly. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to ask you to remove the two top cards that you cut at. Remove them. You can show everybody what it is. It's okay. What are they? Black 8.
7.
Black 7. Perfect. I want you to take take the 7 first and place it anywhere you'd like, anywhere at all, except there. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Push it in. Take the other card, which is what? The black 8. Okay, place that in. Anywhere. Now for the fastest card effect. No, that wasn't it. This is it. Watch. That's it. You see that? There's your cards. Thank you. Not a trick deck either. Not a trick deck.
No, a trick guy.
Not a trick, yes. Lost and found. What a great effect that utilizes many different principles.
That's correct. The first principle is the fact that we're going to use two similar pairs. In other words, I have an 8 of clubs and a 9 of spades, and a 9 of clubs and an 8 of spades. These are the cards we'll be using for the trick, and we're going to just refer to them throughout the trick as a black 8 and a black 9.
And this is the preset now that you're showing,
That's
so you got to get these cards out of the deck before you do the trick.
And then you place one pair on top and bottom of the pack, and then the remaining pair also on top of the pack. So from the top down, we have an 8 and 9, followed by another 9, and the other 8 on the bottom. That's the setup. 3 cards on top, 1 on the bottom. Now you're going to ask the spectator to cut the cards.
We're going to teach a force right now.
That's correct.
This is a great effect, and what you should point out here for those people that are watching is to always watch the top of the deck, because Johnny is going to create the illusion that he's cutting the deck, but you're really just making them pick the top cards. Show them how to do the
This
force.
is a force. It's called the crisscross force. So you hand them the pack, you say, cut the cards. It doesn't matter where they cut. You stop them before they complete the cut. And you say, now, I'd like you to mark the cut. In poker, they sometimes put a check on top of the cut. We're going to take the other half of the pack, and I'd like you to just crisscross it. Turn it sideways and place it on top, which they do like so.
Almost looks like a plus sign down.
Yes. And now you're going to use verbal misdirection. You say, now you've cut the cards. You could have cut anywhere. We just want to get a little time delay so that they actually forget that where they cut, what they think is a cut, is actually the top of the pack. Now you say, remove the cards that are marking the cut, and look at the cards you cut to. Actually, they never cut to these cards. This is the top of the pack, but...
And you want them to pick, though, 2 cards, right?
That's correct. This is forcing them. So you say, take the top 2 cards you cut to. As they take the cards off, you pick up the top of the pack and place it back on the bottom. And
The
now
deck says it was,
it's
it was.
exactly as it was. Remember, we still have our 2 cards, one on top and one on the bottom. They're not aware of it.
And these 2 cards are the cards that you wanted them to pick, which
Yes.
we'll just show you for now what they are, which is the 8 of spades and 9 of clubs. But you're going to refer to those as the black 8 and the black 9.
That's right. And you say, you have them turn them down, and now you ask them to place them anywhere in the pack. And it doesn't matter where they place them. You square them on up. And now you say, you've placed the cards into the center of the pack. I'm going to try and find them. Now, Chris will show you how that's done.
No, you finish it.
Okay. All you're going to do is place them in your hand. You're going to put some pressure on the bottom of the pack and the top. And when you're ready to produce apparently the same 2 cards, all you're going to do is put a little pressure and throw everything in between those 2 cards into this hand. The pressure allows these 2 to remain in your left hand. Now you say, look, a black 8 and a black 9, the cards you selected.
You got it. Okay. All right, ready for the big
Why
judgment?
don't I just put my hands through your coat?
There you go. Because you couldn't do this, Johnny,
Well,
with
that's
3
true.
But you know what? That has nothing to do with this little puzzle. Watch. 3 moves.
3 moves.
Right?
3.
Ready? Here we go. Ready?
Ready.
1, 2,
3, and they all end up mouth down. That's great. Now,
Hey, look, you know what? No. Go try it. Try it.
Try it.
3 moves.
Here.
3 moves.
3 moves.
3 moves.
3 moves.
You got to turn them upside down each time.
3 moves.
Yes,
Yeah.
3 moves.
Okay.
We got a lot of tape in
One.
there, Leaf?
Yeah. That'll be 2 moves.
2.
2. How'd you do that?
Well, here, why don't you show them one last time?
Well, I'll just show you one last time, right? All right, ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. You know what? Let Dave try this. Let Dave try it. Go ahead, Dave. Come on, big shot
He's very
manager of the
good.
firm, $60 million a year company.
1, 2.
Can I bet my percentage of these?
No, you can't. You can't.
And I'll teach you how to do that. So let's let everybody leave and sit right there.
Why don't we just... Yeah, why don't we...
All right, now here we go. I'm going to show you the ultimate scam.
Yeah, mugs up.
Mugs up.
Okay.
All right? You can use any 3 cups you desire. In 3 moves, always making each move with 2 cups. Oh, let me show you.
The object is to get them all
All
mugs down.
mugs down.
Okay.
All
Why don't you
mugs
show
down.
us?
3 moves.
3
using
moves.
2 cups a move. You can't do any less moves, any more moves. 3
Okay.
moves. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you try it, Johnny. Go ahead, try it.
1, 2, 3.
Nope. They're not all down. It's supposed
Can
to all
you
be
do that
down.
again?
Sure. Let me show you. I'll do it really slowly. The first thing you do, you go to the 2 end cups. You turn them over. Then you go to the 2 outside cups in the second move to turn those over. Lastly, you go to the 2 cups facing upright and turn them downward. So all 3 mugs are facing down. And the trick is, when your friend tries it, turn over the center cup. They'll never be able to do it.
Because they're in the reverse position when you
Exactly.
started, but they're not aware of it.
Nope.
So even if they emulate the moves,
It's not
the
going to happen.
best they can possibly do is end up with the coffee cups facing upward. And of course, you can repeat it and show it to them, and they won't really understand why it worked for you and not for them.
Now, right now, I'm about to show you something that I did a more advanced version on Mindfreak where I won
A viper.
a Viper. So we can't teach that, but I'm going to show this and we'll teach this.
Okay.
But this is really good. This is really good. It's done with three coffee cups. Okay? And something that is valuable. Maybe a ring, a woman's ring. Anybody have a ring? Ring? You have a ring? Yeah. Okay, perfect. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to take your ring and place it under any one of the 3 cups. To illustrate that, I'm going to show you what I want you to do. Say you took the middle cup, placed the ring underneath it. You're then to take the 2 cups that don't contain your ring and just switch them. Just like that. Okay? Now feel free to move them so that the handles are not all the same. Whatever you want to do, okay? But I'm going to start off with the handles perfect. And just select any cup, place your ring under. Johnny and I are going to turn facing the curtain so we don't know where it is. Okay. Come on, Johnny.
Reminds me of grammar school.
Yes. Ah. Okay, you did that very, very quietly. Very quietly. Did you notice how quiet she was with that? And look, she even, if you look very carefully, she even moved everything so that there's no indication of where the thing started off, right? Interesting. I'm going to look at you right now. No, because it tells me a little bit about you, but I want to get inside your head right now. I want you to actually look at me as I take my hand and just place it over each and every cup. Now, I'm processing the information. I actually think I know where you placed your ring. Right here. You know what? Let's keep the celebration going. Yes. Thank you very much.
I don't have to think. I know you broke 2 of the 6 cups, and we're going to have to pay for them.
All right, all right. But the secret to this effect is to look at an imperfection on a cup, and that normally happens just due to the nature of being washed and different things that happen. In this instance, we have an imperfection in the name of the cup, or who printed the cup. You'll see it right over here. It's kind of smudged.
Yes, the actual D on the manufacturer's name is smudged, and there's no opening in the center of the D as there is in
And
the
let's get a nice tight shot of that. You'll see there's smudge. There's no center in the D. So that's going to be, we'll call it the key mug.
Yes.
The one that we always look at to give us the information we need to know to get the outcome correct.
All right. Let's show them how it works.
Perfect. I'm going to use your ring.
We'll use my ring. We'll start out by apparently that they put the ring under the center cup while our backs are turned.
And normally, the way we always start this off is to keep the key mug with the imperfection in the center.
That's right.
So with that being in the center, we'll start off placing that cup over the ring. And as you pointed out, we would normally not be looking at this, but because we're explaining it, it doesn't matter.
And while the magician's back is turned, they're told to place it under an object, one of the cups, and then to switch the other 2 cups that it's not under, like so. If the ring had been placed under an end cup, like this, and those would be switched. Or it could end up under that end, and these would be switched. That's what the spectator does. Now here's how it works, so we can tell exactly where the ring has been placed.
Let's place it on the center.
Okay.
The imperfection is right over here. This cup is the key mug.
Now Chris turns his back, and they switch the other 2 mugs. Chris turns around.
I'm going to look right away. Is my key mug still there, or has it moved? If it's still there, I know that the ring is under there because they obviously didn't touch that and move the other 2 mugs. Therefore, I would say the ring is under the center cup.
And you'd be correct. But let's suppose while your back is turned, they place it under one of the end cups and switch them.
I would turn back around and look at the center. I don't see my key mug there. I see it over here, which indicates to me, because these 2 mugs were moved, that it has to be the ring, that the cup over here has the ring. And I would be correct.
And turn your back and
Well,
suppose...
let me, I have to preset it.
Okay.
Key mug must go in the center.
Suppose they place it under that end cup and they switch these.
I'm going to turn around. I'm going to look towards the center from my key mug. I don't see it there. I see it actually over here. So I know that these 2 mugs were switched, so it has to be over here. This has to be where the ring,
correct.
and it is correct. Now, one little subtlety was that when I did this, I started off with all of the handles facing in the same directions. The reason is that some people might think that if you move a mug and put it down, the handle may have shifted, and that may be what is giving you the insight to know what mug the ring is under, and it has nothing to do with it. So usually what I say after the ring is placed under one of the cups is you can turn them any way you'd like, counterclockwise, clockwise, just so that it just blows that theory.
So they can't tell which
Exactly.
mugs have been moved.
Right.
Correct.
And that's pretty much the secret.
That is it.
You see me here cutting the deck here, Johnny.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
How about we get somebody to cut the deck, shuffle them up a little bit?
Well, get them to mix them.
Mix 'em
Otherwise,
up.
it doesn't mean much.
If I'm doing this?
Yes.
But I'm
if
really
you're
mixing
doing-
them.
Yeah, but they may not believe that.
All right.
Have somebody shuffle them. A good shuffler here?
Who's good? You good? Good. Good. Yeah, you look like a
All right, cool.
Come here,
Ah, that's it.
Oh, and you see what just jumped out? Did you see what just jumped out? What did it just? What?
It was a queen.
You know why? The queen just jumped out. You keep on going.
Okay.
They say that queens, ladies of the night, whisper. They talk, that bedroom talk, pillow talk.
The Whispering Queen.
The whispering queen. And that's what we're going to try right now. I'd like you to
He's really mixing.
mix that up. Yes. It was fabulous. And the fact that the queen wanted to come out of the deck says something to me. It says that she wants to tell me something. She wants to help me. I'm going to ask you to name any one of the 4 queens.
Anyone of the 4.
Name one.
Queen Elizabeth.
Well, that would be...
Makes sense to me.
The Queen of Hearts would be right over here. Queen of Hearts, actually we get to show that, doesn't matter. This is going to be the Whispering Queen.
I think you ought to turn her face down because she's very good at spotting things.
Oh, really? You don't
If
want
you
it to
can't
see?
see her, no.
Oh,
Don't let
all
her-
right,
Don't
all
let her
right.
see her. She'll nail it immediately.
Okay. What I'm going to have, we'll put Queen of Hearts, or Queen Elizabeth, right over there. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to cut the top about a third off the deck, right to the right of it. About a third. Very good. And cut half of the middle to the left. Perfect. I want you to take your hand and touch one of the piles. Actually, take both hands, touch 2 piles. Perfect. Okay. And take your fingers and go like this. And remove one of your fingers. Perfect. So you'd like to use this one. Great. What I want you to do now, we'll disregard this, we don't need this. I want you to look at the top card. Don't let us know what it is. Actually, you turn as well, John.
Yes, I am.
Okay, have you looked at it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, place it into the deck. Take the anywhere and take the rest of the packets and place it on top and mix it around. Tell us that we can turn around so that we don't sit here looking at this beautiful Magic Castle curtain.
And not the middle card on the table, right? Just,
No, leave the Queen of Hearts, the Queen Elizabeth
take
alone.
everything else and put it on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter because it's
You know,
my
this
girl.
You're going to do this because he shuffled the cards, she got them, and picked the card. You haven't done anything yet. You sure you can do this?
Yeah, well, you saw the Queen of Clubs.
right
I think
out.
jumped right out. Wanted to come tell me something.
Okay,
Something's
well,
going on in
Let's
there.
see what she can do.
The Queen of Hearts, I'm going to turn her over.
Yeah. Her name's Elizabeth.
Yes, I do know that. Okay, watch. This is, and you know, she has to be turned over because all of the other cards are face down. She has to be looking up so she can see what's going on. She likes to be, whatever.
What?
She likes to look up. It's strange, but she looks up like this. Oh, she said go in the middle more. Uh-huh. Thank you. She just winked. Did you see that? She just winked at me.
If you say so.
You selected a card. You had a free selection, right? You did everything, both of you, right? She just told me what your card is.
What did she tell you?
She told me your card was the 3 of clubs.
It was.
What?
Sorry.
Wonderful.
It was, right? Thank you. This next effect is wonderful. It's called the Whispering Queen.
That's it, the Whispering Queen. In this effect, you're going to learn to force a card and to subtly glimpse a card and get information without the audience knowing it. You have the deck shuffled, like so, and now you say, this is the Whispering Queen. You've shuffled the cards. Now I'd like you to name one of the queens.
Well, I didn't shuffle the cards. I'll shuffle the cards now.
All right.
Now I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm going to name the... Everybody picks this queen. The Queen of Hearts.
Okay, the Queen of Hearts. Now, you point out as you go through the pack that you're not rearranging the cards, that they will remain in the same order they were shuffled. But you say, all I'm going to do is remove the Queen of Hearts. What you're really going to do, and the excuse for this, is to take out the Queen, but you really want to glimpse the top card of the deck, which in this case is the Ace of Clubs. So the minute you see the top card, you go right through and remove the Queen they named. So in essence, they only believe you've gone through to find a Queen and set it on the table.
But meanwhile, you lock the Ace of Clubs, which was the card on top of the deck, into your mind.
Right.
That's a card you can force.
That's right. That's the card they're going to pick. So, you show the Queen. I turn her face down and say she's very good, so I'm going to turn her face down so she doesn't see what is about to happen. Now, remember, the card is on top of the deck that they're going to select, which is the Ace of Clubs. And I say, would you cut the cards you just shuffled? Cut about a third of the deck and put it right over here. That's perfect. Now, would you cut this packet in half and put it over here? Now I say, would you touch the top card of any packet? 90% of the time they touch the center packet. That's why you have the cutting done in this fashion, to position that card there. And if they do, the trick is over. You tell them to take the card and to look at it and remember it. Now, suppose they don't touch that pile. Suppose they touch one of the other piles. Ah, very good, you say. That pile you touched, we will eliminate. This, by the way, is called the magician's choice, which means there is no choice. You're always going to make them pick the ace of clubs. So you say,
So you
we'll
make them
eliminate
pick the
that.
center pile, no
That's
matter
correct.
what.
So you say, we'll eliminate that.
Let me ask you, John, if you put that back and
Yes.
just say I went for the other side, let's see, what would you do then?
Same thing. I
Yeah,
say,
all right, so-
we'll eliminate that pile.
Ah, okay.
All right, now, I say, put one of your hands on each pile. Now I say, would you remove one hand? If they remove the hand that doesn't have the force card, off the pile that doesn't have the force card, then I say, we'll eliminate that pile also. But if they remove the hand on the pile that has the force card, I say, good. I'd like you to select a card. We'll get rid of the other pile. Take a look at the
So
top
I have
card.
no choice.
You have no choice whatsoever.
choice
No
at
matter
all.
what they do, they're going to end up selecting that ace of clubs. And once they've done that, you have them put the deck back together in any order. Add
Shuffle
the
it
ace
up.
of clubs. They can shuffle it. And now it's all presentation from this point. You pick up the queen. You pass it through the pack. And you say, the queen has told me that your card is it's a black card.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a spade, it's a club, she says. And she says it's kind of royalty. It's the ace of clubs.
Wait, she really talked to you?
What is she saying now?
She's saying that was a damn good effect. So, what I want to show you right now is something that I don't want anybody trying. Well, maybe you can try it, but I don't want the little kids that are watching this trying this, because they should have some supervision, because you can really get hurt. You should never play with matches. But kids, I have my supervisor, my mentor here, who says, is it okay, Johnny, if I do this?
It's very okay that you do it, and if they're careful and under their parents' guidance, they can even do this.
This is not
So
gonna- yeah,
you're
yeah.
really good.
So what you're going to do is you're going to open up the matches. You're going to show some matches, right? I want you to do me a favor. Just say stop anytime.
Right, son.
Right there? Now watch, I'm going to do this very, I don't want you to think anything is funny. I'm going to take out the match. I want you to examine that match. All right, fair? Watch. Now, this is not the part that's magical. Watch. It's really, really hot, this thing, you know? But if you get this just right, you can actually see this happen. You won't believe. You actually see it happen. Just go like this, watch, and it will just that quickly go. And do me a favor, open that up. Show the camera very, very slowly what's inside.
What?
And do me a favor, is that in the pack, completely attached?
Yes.
Remove it.
Wow.
That's deja vu.
Perfect time.
Thank God I didn't say Buja Day, because it never happened then. Deja vu, Buja Day. Did it happen?
Well, Bourgeois Day, it didn't happen.
No, but deja vu, it happened. But I just want to do a little warning here. I know we have one on the top of the DVD, but do not try this, kids, until you have some supervision by your parents, because we're playing with some matches.
Well, this is a wonderful trick invented by a man named Milbourne Christopher, a wonderful magician from the New York area. Before you start the trick, you must remove a few matches. I've already done that. In other words, you're going to pull a few matches so it doesn't look like a fresh new book. You can't tell what matches have been removed and what haven't. Then you're going to take one of the matches near the center of the packet and bend it down like so. Use one of the matches you removed to light that. Then blow it out. Let it cool for a moment. Press it back into place and close the book, and you're ready to perform.
So that's the preset.
That's the preset on it. So, you come out, you open the book, and you bend the match down as you're opening the book so it's hidden underneath your thumb. And now you remove a match close to, or you can even force it by doing this. You can say, just say stop,
Stop.
right there. And you notice I stopped in the general
general,
vicinity where
right.
this one
That's
is.
actually what I did.
Yes. So, now you pull this out, and you strike the match, blow it out. As you're setting the match down, you're covering this, you're setting this back in place with your thumb as you're closing this. Now you say watch. You set this out in a prominent position on the table, and you say keep your eye on it. And it looks like I've taken it off the table. Actually, all I did is slide the match and let it fall off the table as I picked it up, apparently. Now you apparently make the match disappear, and you say, please open the book. And of course, when they open the book, they're going to find the only burnt out match. And now the real kicker on this trick is you say, would you grab hold of the match? I think you're going to discover it's still
Yeah.
attached. Would you break it off?
Sure.
And of course, that's the only burnt match in the book.
Now, there's one thing that we should point out. The vanish that you showed of the match, where you dragged it off the table, is one way to do it.
Yes.
I believe the method that I use, which I'd like to share with our viewers, is I just took the match and I used a little bit of misdirection as I was looking at the matchbook or whatever. I came by the edge of the table, and you can do the standing up as well because the match is pretty dark. I just came by, and as I talked, I just literally dropped the match. So I have nothing in my hand right now, nothing. And I covered that just with this motion. But I make pretend, and I believe that that match is still in my hand. So I come up like this. So if I have the match in my hand, we'll just take it as an example. One more time to illustrate that. I have the match. I come by. I say, watch the match. Actually, I had nothing in my hand, but it appears that it just dematerialized and then went inside the sealed matchbook.
The anonymous.
Anonymous.
The anonymous floating coin.
Yeah. So do you have any change? Give me a quarter, a nickel, anything you have.
How about that for a quarter?
Okay.
Pretty big.
It certainly is. Let's see. If you really concentrated on Johnny, you'll see something truly, truly amazing happen. Watch. You see it?
I've never seen that before. That's wild. That's great.
Isn't that great? Yeah. I'll start off. Ready? Yeah. Let's teach it to them, right?
Okay.
So right now we're using.
A giant coin, but you
Right.
could use a medallion.
You can also get these at the local magic shops
Yes,
or
you
online,
could.
right?
Or even in souvenir shops. they have
Yes.
them.
But you could probably even use like a lid to something.
A
you know?
jar lid.
Yeah.
You could, as I said, a medallion.
Yeah.
Anything that size.
So you hold it just like this. And what actually happens is your thumbs are going to support the coin at the edges. So it does this.
That's great. As I said, I've never seen this before. This is.
And what you want to do is keep your fingers in the front, spread apart, but make sure you don't open your fingers
Yes.
because then you'll see your thumbs. You want to keep them closed so that your thumbs are hidden behind your other fingers.
It's really an unusual
Isn't that
illusion.
great? It
It's
really
a
is.
great illusion.
And you can play with it. You can go up and down a little bit, make it look like it's hovering. And just by moving your hands up and down, bringing it forward, bringing it back, really far back, do some wonderful things with it. So practice it. Have fun with
The
it.
Chris Angel floating coin.
You want to keep that there? Maybe my secret agent.
Sure, I'm used.
Yeah.
Oh, my 008.
You know what? I have inside here a prediction, Johnny. You don't even know about this prediction I wrote. This morning when I got up, woke up from a nightmare, kept on thinking about something that made no sense, so I wrote it down. Put it inside this envelope. I sealed it in French manner. I'm going to keep it in full view right over here. And we're going to begin. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. I have a scissor over here. It's actually kind of fun. I get to sit here and see who it's going to hit me. I get tired. Kids, don't try that. You will poke your eye out. And I have a paper right over here. I'm going to ask this young lady, what's your name?
Yvonne.
Yvonne, pleasure to meet you. I'm Chris.
Hi.
I'm going to run down. You tell me when to stop at any point. Right there?
Sure.
You sure?
Yes.
You want to change your mind?
No, I'm good.
You sure? Okay. Where's that piece now? That's what we have to find. Okie dokie. I want you to read for me what it says right over there you told me to cut out.
Group dynamics. Period. They simply.
Right.
Okay.
Now, you told me this. Was that legitimate? That was fair?
Absolutely.
Correct?
Yes.
I made a prediction. What's your name?
Vivian.
Vivian, I want you to open up my prediction and read what I wrote. One more time before, when you're doing that, read it one more time, what it says.
Group dynamics. Period. They simply.
And you stopped me there, right? And I cut exactly where you told me to stop, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I made a prediction. What does it say?
Group dynamics. They simply.
Can you teach me that one?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Alice. So this next effect, Hanley loves. So I thought it'd be a great addition to include.
A newspaper prediction.
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, you cut a column, a nice long column, out of newspaper, and you cut it so that the top and bottom lines are completely cut through. No start of a paragraph or end of a paragraph.
It starts right at the edge, and on the bottom, there's no space. The cut is right there.
Now you take the very top sentence, which reads, your eyes are better than the old.
Yes, right. The top sentence reads, such is the mantra for many.
And that's what you're going to write on your prediction that you seal in the envelope. Such is the mantra for many, because that is what they believe they're going to get randomly, their choice. Now, he's about to move the scissors down and cut anywhere that the people say stop.
But this is the trick. You'll notice that it's upside down.
And that's the secret, of course.
Yeah, because what you wrote down in your prediction is actually right over here. Such is the mantra for many. So no matter where I cut, when this piece falls to the ground, I'm going to pick it up, and they're going to go to that sentence and read it.
And the secret behind this is to be at least 8 to 10 feet away from your audience so they can't see that it's upside down. They're going to assume it's right side up.
Of course.
They have no reason not to. So you move the scissors down until
Say
someone
stop,
says, cut, stop.
Right there.
They cut. It's allowed to fall to the floor, in this case onto the
And
table.
at this point, when people are looking at the floor, I bring my hand to my side and I reverse this so that now
It's right side up.
correct. And you're going
Of
to pick
course,
this
when
up.
they pick this up, they're going to turn it right side up regardless of how it
Right.
falls on the floor.
And what you're doing is creating the illusion that you cut this like this. Here is such is the mantra for many. Here's where I made the cut, but I really made the cut down here, but it appears that I made this cut. So when they pick this up off the floor, they believe they're reading where I just cut.
Exactly the same place they told them to stop. And of course, they read the line.
Such is the mantra for many.
When they rip open the prediction and they take out the prediction, they read exactly that. Such is the mantra for many.
Including Hammy.
Hammy
He's part
loves
of the
it.
many.
Actually, he fell asleep. Listen, he's drooling on the table.
Yeah. Good crowd, huh? Good crowd. What's your name, sir?
George.
George, pleasure to meet you. I'm
Chris,
Chris.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I want you to take the deck, George.
Okay.
I want you to shuffle them up any way you'd like. Your
Okay.
choice. You had some
Very good
competition.
job. No, you
Very,
had a
very
good shuffle.
Yeah. He knows all of them. Great. I want you to basically cut off as many cards as you want.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to just stay right there.
Okay.
Okay? I mean, if you want to continue and add more cards to it,
That's
it's
good,
up to you,
that's
whatever you'd like, okay?
good.
I'm going to ask you to remove the top card in a moment and take a look at it. Don't let us see it. Well, actually, we should turn
We'll
our
turn
back,
our
right?
back.
Okay? Take a look at the card that you cut at.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead and show everybody the camera, but do not show us on any condition. Okay? You did it? Okay. Take it, you place it back there, okay? Perfect. Now take the top half and place it right back there, okay? Good. Perfect. Yeah, square them up for me. Good. Good. Everything legitimate? Everything fair? Would you say?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try to find your card in a very, very unique way. Normally, I would put the deck on the floor and use my foot, but being that we have a table, I'll be a gentleman. I'm going to climb on the table and do
Oh,
it.
okay, I thought you were going to stand on the table.
It's not a bad idea, but I don't think this table
Okay.
will hold me up.
Yeah, I
It's a
agree.
Magic Castle table. Just gonna actually, can you just take the deck and move them closer to me so I don't have them go off? Just move the entire deck. Perfect.
Huh?
What do you think, Johnny?
Go for it.
It's kind of interesting. Right over here, you see an unusual break compared to the rest. Be truly amazing if it actually broke to the card that you selected, wouldn't it? What was the card that you selected?
2 of hearts.
2 of hearts. My lovely assistant, what's your name?
Natalia.
Natalia, could you turn over this card right here to see if indeed it is the 2 of hearts, and we'll both get a thunderous applause if it is. It is indeed. Kicked.
That's the title of this trick.
Although when I performed it, I didn't kick the cards. I slapped them because we had a table.
Why
with
didn't we
these-
call it slapped?
Well, because I like to kick the cards, but when you have a table, it's difficult for the audience to see it. Therefore, we slapped it, did not kick it, but you could do it either way if you know the preparation.
That's right. In other words, you could put the cards on the floor and kick them with your feet.
Yes. So the prep-
Actually, this trick was originally called salted, and that's the secret behind it.
That's true. You could take the salt and just pour it in your pocket, but I don't like to. I don't want to have a mess in my pocket, so I just took a jar. It could be a little, you know,
It could be just a,
yeah, anything, a medicine,
pill container, a medicine
Great,
bottle.
great.
Yes.
And take some salt, pour it in there. Perfect. Take the jar with the salt, place it into your pocket. If you're righty, obviously go put it on the right side. And then you'll notice I have the bandana. I place that in the pocket so that the salt doesn't pour out Otherwise, it would be pointless. I
Yeah.
put it into the...
Yeah, you put a handkerchief
yeah.
in there, something to keep it from tipping over.
Exactly. And now you're ready to begin the effect. You're set up. So you can have the deck shuffled.
Okay.
Another great thing about this is you have to do no force at all.
Cards are shuffled and cut.
Please cut the deck.
Okay, I'm cutting the deck.
And take a look at the card that you cut to. When he does that, you're going to secretly take your finger, your forefinger, put it in your pocket, and rub it into the salt so that you get it onto your fingertip, just like that. But you don't obviously want to point attention to this. You don't want to point it out. So you just keep it to your side, ask him to look at the card,
And I'll show it to the camera. It's the ace of spades.
return it back on
So-
top of the deck.
I place it here.
Now I'm going to ask you to please complete the cut. When I do that, I'm going to take the finger that has the salt and rub it on top of your card.
As you apparently say.
Yes, I was going to say, hey, place it right there.
So he picks up that portion of the deck and places it on top of the selection, which has salt on top of it, and the trick is ready to perform.
Now, the reason why it's going to work is because the salt is going to keep the cards separated. Therefore, when I kick it or I slap it, it's going to make it break at that point.
Yeah, they kind of act like little miniature ball bearings, you know,
Exactly.
separate the cards.
Let's show them how that looks.
Okay.
The only thing you have to do is just literally slap the side of the deck.
And
you'll
you
notice
see how
break.
it breaks right there? You just have them reach in and take the card out,
What was your card?
the ace of spades, and of course, you show it.
Now, the harder you hit it, the bigger break you're going to get, and we'll show you that right now.
All right.
Let's
Why
fix
don't
a
you
little more.
resalt the card one more time and give it a good whack? Okay. There it is. The ace of spades.
It's a fantastic trick.
Kick.
Punch! Rolling?
Rolling.
Ham, excuse me for 1 second. What? Oh, wait, tell me again? I didn't hear you. Uh-huh. Oh. He wants me to do the one with the quarter, he said. Does anybody have a quarter? You want to get it? Go ahead, get the quarter. Go ahead. You want to get the quarter? Yes, the quarter, Hammy. Hammy, this gentleman right in front of you. Not me. He has the quarter. Yeah, you see? Yeah, no, I'll take it.
Take
No,
it.
no.
Well,
Hammy.
you wanted it, you know.
This is what we're going to try to do here. You have the quarter. This is your quarter. We didn't preset this or anything like
Give me my pocket. Sorry about that.
Hammy, watch. Take the quarter from your pocket. You handed it to me, right? Hammy's watching the whole thing?
Yes.
Now watch. I'll do this very slowly for you. Watch. And Hammy's not too impressed. He just walked away. He's like, I can do better than that. I exploded. I vanished. You made a quarter disappear.
Yeah, but you fooled me. I guess the cat has better sense.
Well, I'll teach you, and I'll teach them right now.
Let's do it.
And in 3 seconds. Oops. Were we running? Rolling? What are we doing?
We're doing oops.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yes, oops is the title of this particular trick because it looks like an accident. But that accident is really the method for vanishing a coin.
Enough about this talking. Do you have the quarter you owe me?
Yes, I do, right there.
Thank you very much. Oops.
Now that's the accident. It apparently fell out of his hands. But that's the excuse we use to vanish the coin.
Watch as I go down. Apparently, I'm going to pick it up, but really what's going to happen is I'm going to slide it under my shoe by kicking it out with my fingers. Watch.
And it
Come
appears
up.
that he just picked up
There's
the
nothing
coin.
there. Yet I have to believe that it is there. And then I'm going to make it look like I take it, place it into the hand, therefore furthering the misdirection from the foot and what the action I just did, and make it vanish. And really, it's still right there, under my foot. Oops.
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 I should actually try to do something, a classic. You remember the classic?
Yes.
You know? Classic pair of scissors with a classic rope. The idea is I'm going to isolate the center that's in the middle. Right? I'm going to bring that up like this. I'm going to snip, make 2 pieces. Make 2 pieces.
Okay.
Now, Doug Henning used to say, it's going to look like I'm cutting it. It's even going to sound like I'm cutting it. But keep in mind, folks, it's just an illusion. Now, I kind of find that fascinating because to me, every time I cut the rope, it really does look like I'm cutting the rope. And even if you listen closely, it sounds like I'm cutting the rope. Even kind of looks like I'm cutting the rope there.
Not too evenly.
Yeah,
but,
not too evenly, but hey, you get what you pay for. So watch, I'm gonna make a little knot. This. Make another little knot. Actually, it's a knot because I put 2 of them, 2.
The double knot.
Yeah. You know what? Did you used to do this? For the ladies, you used to cut the
Souvenir?
end off. Yeah, the souvenir. It gets them every time. You always get a kiss when you do that. No, I'm serious. It really does work. You see, watch. Yeah, if I am successful, it works. So now you have. I'm setting this up here. Work with me, folks. You gotta work with me. I'm just gonna roll this up. You gotta work with me, okay? Now, this is the concept here. I'm going to go like this, ask you to blow on it. Ooh, and look at that. The rope completely restored. Now, you may pull on that, and may I get the lovely kiss. Thank you. But you know something? It was worth it. You can keep that. And you can keep that too.
It's in my purse.
There you go. Thank you very much.
The ends and cut it. Excuse me. Let's do that again.
Another classic in the art of magic, the cut and restored rope.
That's correct. This particular trick has been in the repertoire of just about every magician in the history of magic throughout all the years. It's a great trick.
You want to explain it and I'll illustrate
Yes,
it?
exactly. To begin with, after the rope has been examined and pulled upon to prove that it's real,
It's real.
You place it first, one end in the crotch of your thumb, the other end goes between the first and second fingers. Now you're going to demonstrate that you're going to cut the center of the rope right there. So you grab that, pull it up between the other ends, and say you're going to actually cut this piece. Now you let it fall once again. Now this is where the magic happens. It looks like you're doing the same exact thing, but you're going to switch the center for this little end of the rope. Watch Chris as he does it. Comes on up, he grabs a portion behind his hand and pulls it up. And as you can see now, all we're cutting is this end of the rope, just this little piece. The center is actually hidden over here.
You show it to them again.
Okay.
All right, so watch me
So
come
as
up.
he takes this, now he's going to switch it for the end of the rope. So as you can see, we're only cutting the end of the rope. We're not cutting the center at all.
See that?
So here
Okay.
to there.
So now he's going to cut right here, and he allows these two ends to fall. And of course, from the front, it looks like you've just cut the rope into two pieces. Actually, what we really have, if you let go, is just a loop from the end of the rope around the center of the actual rope. Now he's going to tie that into a knot. Now you can be pretty free once you've tied the first knot. You tie a second knot to use up some more of the excess of the little rope. And when Chris does this, he likes to trim off the ends of the rope and give them as a souvenir.
That way it could be on eBay. Just joking.
And now once this is done,
like
all
it.
we have to do is get rid of the rope. And we're going to do that in a very simple manner. As you can see, this is a knot, but it's not really a knot holding the two pieces of rope. It's a knot that actually will move along the rope. No one's aware of that. But that's how we're going to get rid of it. Now, Chris will show you that. He's going to apparently wind the rope around his hand
But we're going to leave the shorter end.
towards the bottom, because the less you have here, the quicker you'll get the knot off.
Do that like this.
So as he winds it around his hand, he's just sliding the knot, as you can see, as he's winding the rope around his hand until it comes off the end. Of course, no one's aware of that. It's coming off the end of the rope, and now there are several ways to get rid of it. One is to pick up the scissors, place them in your pocket, and as you do that, you get rid of the knot in the pocket also. There's another method, which we'll show you, and that's after the knot has been taken off your hand.
I got my magic wand there.
Okay. The hand goes to the pocket to get his magic wand. He takes it on out, drops the knot off, of course, and taps the rope to cause the restoration to happen. There's still a third way. If you don't have a wand and not a pocket that'll take your scissors, you just unwind the rope.
This is the best way, I
Yes.
think. If you unwind it, don't let the audience see this.
And of course, he actually touched the table and let it fall behind the table.
One more time. Boom. I'm showing you what it looks like, but